morning and welcome to the signing day edition of Keeler Blue Hen Live on DelawareOnline.com. I'm Kevin Tresolini, News Journal sports reporter here with University of Delaware football coach Casey Keeler. He's happy today. It's signing day and Delaware has gotten a large, and Coach Keeler says, a very fine recruiting class. He has 20 names on the list. Coach Keeler, sum up this year's recruiting class for us.
Yeah, it was a big class. Really felt that both Brian Ginn and Nick Rapone did a phenomenal job, not only putting a board together, but once we got the players committed, holding on to those players, because that's a difficult chore sometimes. I thought in the offensive side of the ball, we really addressed some needs with getting bigger and stronger in the offensive line. A big 33 player, an East-West player from PA. Got a young man who's first team All-State over in Jersey. Big guys, 6'4", 6'5", 300 to 330s. Another young man from New York is 6'5", 275 pounds, but he just turned 17. So, we see him as a guy down the road that could really help us. So we really felt great about the offensive line. Quarterback spot, we took one transfer there, Pat Devlin. Have not seen Pat throw the football yet because by NCAA rules we're not allowed to work with them yet, but I know our receivers have big smiles on their faces, and I've worked with Pat some and has a lot of leadership and a lot of intangibles that we're excited about. Trevor Sasek is a young man from over Springford over in Pennsylvania. Came down for a one-day workout and did a great job at our one-day workout. So we felt really good about the offense. We got a couple really dynamic wide receivers, some running backs we think can help us next year, and Cody McGill, a tight end that we beat East Carolina and Syracuse on. So felt great about what we did on the offensive side of the ball. Equally on the defensive side of the ball, and Nick Rapone and their staff have done a great job over the last couple of years putting together this defense. Really started in the secondary. Got three guys who can help us so many different places. Ricky Tunstall is a guy that is a Glassboro high school kid, and he's a guy who can kick return and punt return and maybe play safety and play corner. And Timmy Breaker, his teammates, the same way, can play corner, can play safety, and punt return and kick return. And then Kasim Everett is the other young man who came to our one day, ran very well. One of the best running backs in the Philadelphia area, who we're going to try as a corner first, but can help us on return teams. And so really thought we got some very good football players in the secondary. Linebackers, we like the guys we took. Athletic, Casavius Ray was a first-team All-State player down there in Florida. Carl Smith was a young man who came to our one day. We really liked him a lot, and they grew an inch and a half. Mm-hmm. We even liked him more. And he's a real physical player. And then we got a Pittsburgh linebacker, Hurt, who's a kid who might also be able to play inside. And then I thought we did a really good job in the defensive line because, that's a spot where if we're going to put Matt Marcarell to middle linebacker, we need to kind of get some depth there in the defensive line. And that's the goal, see if we can put Matt at middle. Because if you put Matt at middle, now all of a sudden you look at your athleticism at linebacker. Andrew Harrison, who should have been Rookie of the Year this year in our mind, plays at one outside linebacker spot, and Walter Blair plays at the other linebacker spot. And all of a sudden you have three linebackers who can just run. So we thought it was important that we got some guys up front that could help us up front. Bobby Kennedy's a local kid from Caraville. His father played here with me, 6'3", 285 pounds, very dynamic. Nationally ranked in both shot and discus. Right. Thomas Huff from over Maryland. Has a tremendous upside, 6'3", 245 pounds. Wait till we get him in the weight room. And then we got two big bodies inside. Lance Miller down there at Mainland High School, first team All-State. All of 5'10", 315 pounds, but his 315 is this way. And he's a guy who definitely commands a double team. And then we got a young man down in Florida who's first team All-State, also Group 4. So we felt really, really good about what we did with this class. And again, I think if you look at a lot of these kids, what they were rated, a lot of these kids were kids that were probably MAC offers. Some of these kids were Big East kind of kids, and we feel that we did a great job putting it together.
Coach Keeler and his staff were kind enough to put together clips on a DVD of the recruits for us, which you'll be able to click on our website and look at later today or very soon this week. We appreciate that, Coach. It's really great to see some of these guys in action in their high school uniforms. One of these days we'll be able to see them in their Delaware uniforms. Coach, I know offensive line was a very important recruiting area for you. Let's just get a quick synopsis of the 4 guys you recruited there and how you think they'll help you. We have about a minute left, I guess.
Excuse me, Brandon Heath, 6'4.5", 300-pounder, big 33 player. Really like his feet. Probably going to try him as a tackle. Athletic, maybe the most polished of all of them. Really think he has tremendous upside. Adam Sitko, boy, this guy just loves football. And 6'5", 330 pounds, 320, 330. Team played for the state championship. Committed to Temple early. Decided to open up his choices. Came over and looked at us, and we love what he can do. He's going to be our guard for us. Nick Catalico, he came to our one day. 6'4", 330 pounds, and he has some nastiness in him.
He's huge, too.
Yeah, and he's a guy who had West Virginia offer early. And what happened was he went down to West Virginia in June. He was 365 pounds. Got himself back down to what he should have been, about 330. Came over for a one-day workout. We loved him, committed early to us, and we're thrilled that we held on to him. And then the fourth one is a guy that's probably not going to help us next year, but a guy who might have the most upside of anybody. He's going to play him at tackle. We're going to play Nick at guard, and we're going to play Earl Latson at one of the tackle spots. But when you look at Earl, from here up, you think he's 220 pounds. From here down, you realize he's all 275. And he's 6'5", 275 pounds. And on the tape you're going to see on the clips, he's 16 years old.
Wow.
He didn't turn 17 until after that ball game.
Wow.
It was the October ball game. He turned 17 in November. So we feel really good about that spot. And maybe, well, the quarterback spot obviously, maybe as good as any spot in terms of this class. And we feel so good about the class, but we wanted to get bigger and stronger and more physical up front. And I think we really accomplished it with these 4. I don't know if we would have only had 1 or 2 scholarships for offensive linemen if we could have made a choice.
Right.
That's how equal all these guys were. And we think it's going to really help us for depth next year and obviously the following year. These kids get a chance to play a lot of football.
Don't be surprised if we see some of these guys in action this fall for the Blue Hens. Coach Keeler, thanks very much for doing this signing day edition of Keeler Blue Hen Live with us. We'll be back to do some more of these shows, we hope, very soon. Spring ball's around the corner, and then the 2009 season. We'll have the list of Delaware's recruits on DelawareOnline.com very soon. Coach Keeler, thanks again for your time, and thanks again for filling us in and providing us the clips of all your recruits. It looks like a fine class. I'm Kevin Tresolini from the News Journal. Thanks very much for joining us.